My name is Luis.
I'm Anthony.
Today we're going to be doing a manual swap on this Civic right here. This is the automatic 97. We bought this parts car, $500. It was a manual, non-running. So we already took out most of the parts, which is the transmission, and we got all the parts right here that came off of it. The clutch pedal, clutch line, exhaust, which I had, aluminum radiator, and the shift linkage. Over here is the transmission that we took off of it and the engine that doesn't run. So we already pulled that out. So now what we got to do now is pull this engine out with the transmission. Obviously drain the coolant, drain the trans fluid, take everything off, just everything we did on that, but on this, start taking everything apart, and then we're just gonna be recording like the process of doing it. So yeah.
All right, so right now we're gonna disconnect the coolant hoses and then drain it. And then in the center console, we're gonna take everything out. And then finally, we're gonna take out the wheels. I just took out the plastics, and right now I'm trying to take this one off and disconnect all the wires.
All right, so far we got the radiator out with the two coolant hoses that go right here and the intake. Now I'm gonna start taking off the rest of the harness and the hoses, and then we're gonna let the transmission fluid drain as well. All right, guys, starting to drain the trans fluid. Looking very dark. Right now we're gonna take apart the suspension so we can get the CV axles out. We're gonna do that right now. All right, disconnect the two grounds that are in the front, which is right here and over here. And then I'm going to undo the headers right here, start taking off the belts over here and getting everything out the way so we can get the harness. And then, yeah, once we get the axles out and all this disconnected, we'll come back. All right, so for the suspension, what you gotta remove is the nut for the outer tie rod, this bolt and nut holding the shock in, and the lower ball joint, and then also the axle nut, which is a 32. These should be a 17, and I think the bottom was a 17 or 19. We're gonna go ahead and take that off right now. Once you get the nut off of the outer tie rod, just hit it right here, and it should pop off. Go ahead and break that nut loose, then you can twist it off. Okay, got that bolt off. Now we're just gonna hit the lower ball joint arm. All right, once you smack it right here, it should pop up just like that. You'll be able to get this bolt out right now. You also gotta get this nut out right here. You gotta de-stick it. You could use a flathead or something just to pry it up a little bit. And then you'll be able to use your 32mm socket to back it off. Okay, so this bolt is stuck in here right now, so I'm gonna just stick a screwdriver or a flathead to the other side just to hit the bolt out. Sit to the side and just pick it up. Take a screwdriver out. Should be able to pull this down. Break that bolt loose. And it should be able to slide off. Or not. Move it up a little bit. So that bolt's gonna have to come all the way off. You can't just loosen it. Get this out the way. So this bolt goes through here. This nut. This is the axle nut. This is the bolt we took off on top. And this is for your outer tie rod and lower ball joint. Alright, so far we got this much of the harness off over here. Getting most of it off over here right now. We're gonna get the harness that goes through the bottom. Right now I just unbolted the power steering pump since this car does have power steering and AC. Went ahead and unbolted it, took the belt off, set it on the mirror. Disconnected the hose from here, plugged that off. So you can see it leaked a little bit out, but it's all right. Plugged it, and you can just move the whole line and pump to the side. This car also has cruise control, so we also went ahead and moved that over there as well. So right now I'm gonna loosen the belt for the AC and then the alternator. And then once I get the alternator and this off, hopefully we can sneak the engine out with the compressor still in here. Obviously not connected, but to the side. And then, yeah. And over here, my brother's taking off the exhaust right now. Struggling probably. You got it?
I'm just trying to take out the rubber off.
You don't take it off with the actual exhaust.
I know, because it didn't have space to use this, that's why.
Oh, there's another one?
Yeah, see, it was all... I don't know, there was a space that was stuck right here. So it didn't come out.
So what we're using to get them off easier is this exhaust hanger remover pliers and just WD-40. If not, you're gonna struggle trying to take them off, especially if they've been on here for a while. This looks like the stock exhaust, so not sure when was the last time it was removed, so it's gonna be hard to get off. Once we get this off, we'll just disconnect it from the headers so that we can just drop the whole thing and just slide it out, hopefully. And then the alternator belt tensioner should be this nut right here as well. So go ahead and loosen that, and that belt should be able to come off. Out. This is gonna go out that way underneath. All right, so this goes through here. You're gonna pull up on this clip, and you gotta pull it. I just unbolted this bracket so I can lift it up and undo it like that. Keep the bracket together. Let's just put this nut back here. We're gonna have to undo this fuel line right here. Pliers. Twist and pull. Move it back a little. There might be a little bit of fuel coming out of here as well. Okay, so to loosen the alternator, it's gonna be this bolt right here. It goes through here, which allows the alternator to slide back and forth. There's a bolt on bottom as well. Go ahead and loosen it. Take the belt off. Just like that. Take it off through the bottom. Throw it wherever you want. So now we're just gonna disconnect the harness from the bottom here. So we just flip the harness over, like that one over there. I'll show. All right, so right now we just got all the nuts off of the header. We're gonna have to unbolt it from the bottom. And like I said, we're gonna try to drop it down and just pull the whole exhaust out. We got the whole harness disconnected already off to the side. The trickiest part is getting the connectors on bottom right here because there's not a lot of room. There's some connectors that go in right there. There's a bracket that also, if your car is pretty stock, it's gonna have it and it's gonna be kind of annoying to get off. It's holding the intake right here from the bottom. Oh, right here, I mean, and the harness is clipped in. So you gotta undo this, clip the harness from here, take it off, and then you'll be able to take it out. Because the harness is behind it like this, so you won't be able to take it out like that. So you gotta take it off, undo the rest of the connectors right here. You'll see them, everything that's connected, just disconnect it. You're gonna sneak it out through here, and then once that's out, set it off to the side. So yeah, right now we're gonna take this off. Then it's gonna be the AC compressor. And hopefully we could just lay it over here out the way. Then it's gonna be the mounts and the axles, because we still haven't got that out yet. So yeah. All right, we got the header disconnected now. Now all we gotta do is just pull it forward all the way. Go all the way up. Dang, it's really big.
Mom doesn't have that.
Okay. It's gonna be loud.
Pipes.
So we're just gonna use this cat in the header. The rest of this we're not gonna use. Just move this out the way right now, and then we can start focusing on the axles and then the mounts. All right, now we're gonna take the axle out. Grab me an extension. Rusty, seized on there. Now we're gonna take our pry bars and pry it up. There's that one. The other side. Not on there. Pretty easy. A little more. Extension. Mallet. Looks like it's free. Okay. Go up. Take it out the way. See, rusty. Same thing. Take the axle over from over there. Smack it. Like that. All right, so we got the compressor off. This is as much room as we're gonna be able to get because we didn't discharge the system, so there's still refrigerant in there. So we don't want to freaking blow it up. So yeah. Unless we could, we'll probably unbolt this radiator or whatever for the AC and move the whole thing all together over there if we can. You can see right now. But if not, it's gonna be all the room we have. So you saw us get the axles out, passenger front, driver front. We're gonna go over and check it to see if there's anything else connected, but I'm pretty sure that's it. So then we're gonna get the engine hoist, line it up, get our chain, hook it up, and then we're gonna start taking off the mounts. First, we're gonna see if we can move this out the way a little bit more. All right, we were able to get the fan out. We can't move the whole condenser because the lines are right here. So we're not able to fully move it out the way, but that should be enough room for us to get it up and out. So right now we're gonna go ahead and take this engine off of the stand because that's where we're gonna be putting this one. Because we are doing the swap, but we're also going to be doing the timing belt and the water pump because we wanted to get that done while it's out of the car, and the seals and whatever. So we're gonna go ahead and put it on the stand, do the belt, do the pump, and whatever else we can while it's out. So we're gonna take this off, put it on this pallet, move it out the way. Then we're gonna take the engine and trans out together, disconnect the trans from the engine, set it on the stand, set the trans out aside as well. So now we're setting up the hoist so we could pick this up and put it on there.
All right, guys, we just put the engine on the pallet right now. Took a long time because it was heavy. Let's put these straps on. Now we're gonna take out these mounts right here, and then we're gonna take the engine out.
Whoa. All right, we now have the engine and trans out of this car. Here it is. Automatic transmission. These are the hoses you gotta disconnect. This one goes to the heater hose, I think. Heater core. All right, now we're gonna set it down onto this tire. Take the trans bolts out. Separate the trans. And get this engine on the stand. All right, so we forgot to take the torque converter bolts out. So that's what we're gonna do right now, and then we're gonna separate it. We tried separating it, but I forgot about the bolts. So we're just gonna twist the crank and then get the 10s out real quick. We got the engine on the stand now. As you can see, this is the automatic trans separated from the engine, obviously. Over there is the flex plate and the bolts for it. Oh, so now we're not gonna do it today because it's really late. We're gonna do the timing belt, water pump, valve cover gasket, obviously, tube seals, probably intake manifold gasket, crank seal, oil pan gasket. Cause we bought the whole engine rebuild gasket set, whatever. So we're gonna do all that first. And once that's done, and we clean everything up with all this oil and shit, we'll put the engine back on the tire or on the floor, and then put the clutch on here, put them together, and then we can drop it back in. These are all our tools that we're using. We're mostly gonna use 17, 14, 12, and 10s. It's good to have one of these because they could take bolts off real easy, and then an electric ratchet to get them off fast once you break them loose. Breaker bar, stuff like that. I got manual transmission fluid from Honda. So in the car, all we did was just take the cable off the shifter, but it's still in there. So that's the last thing we gotta do, take that off and then do the wiring for the reverse lights and then the park, so it thinks it's always in park so it can start. So we also gotta do that. But yeah, so we'll probably clean the inside of this too. Just degrease it, spray it down. But yeah, the next thing would be working on the engine and then putting it all together and dropping it back in the car.